A school in America has replaced detention with meditation. Instead of punishing misbehaving children by sending them to the head teacher's office, the primary school in Baltimore has a mindful moment room instead. The school's head teacher says there's been 0 suspensions at the school since it was introduced.
They're all asleep, that's why.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
It makes me want a mindful moment room. I think this is brilliant. And the proof is in the pudding. If there's been 0 suspensions and detention since, then it works, doesn't it? I mean, my whole life I've wanted to meditate because I love the sound of it, and people that meditate just seem so calm and tidy, and they don't drink too much, and it's always been something that I've just gone, oh God, I want to do that, but it's not something I'm ever going to be able to achieve. And it's only really in the last few years that I've been getting more and more into it, and it is incredibly powerful.
It is.
And I think that if you can get that, if you can get your children right from an early age, finding a way to just settle themselves and just be present and just to enjoy this moment here now, instead of looking ahead and looking away.
Oh, I've heard
Be in
it
the
all
present,
now.
Carol.
Oh, I'm
love
sorry,
the idea.
but kids don't go to school to learn how to meditate. They're supposed to be learning how to add up and read and write.
Yeah, but what
and
if they've been naughty?
But what kind of detention is that? They're all just going to lie down and have a little nap, because that's what kids do, innit? They love going to sleep
But
all
it's
the time.
working.
It's not a punishment, is it?
Well, it's working.
Listen,
Yeah,
that
because they-
punishment. Oh my goodness, back in the day, detention was actually quite fun because you'd be with all your naughty friends.
Yeah.
You'd write notes to each other and you'd like mess around in the detention room. If they made me lay down and close my eyes and get zen, I would have been like, oh my God.
Richie.
This is much worse.
This would be a punishment.
I think it would be a much
You might
worse
have been at the
punishment.
beginning.
You might have been at the beginning and then you might have actually got into it. And obviously these are our opinions. This is the opinion of someone who actually works in a school. Andy's got in touch and said, detention doesn't always work. I'm a TA, a teaching assistant. We once had a disruptive child who we were unable to control. It was only when we stopped punishing him and gave him a chance to vent that he revealed he was being abused. He got the help that he needed and he's a fine young man now. Becca says...
What I would say is, at least in that time that you've taken from them, you've still taken some time from them, then they're learning something, possibly positive.
Yeah.
What do you learn from sitting in a room in detention, just sitting there being the naughty person? I mean...
And I
think
think
there are some things that you learn in
the
school
point
that
of
I
it.
would question whether they're even relevant nowadays. I actually would rather my child reinforce, because they should, as children, know how to and naturally meditate anyway, but I'd rather them be reinforced into meditating so that they can deal with their emotions and that development side properly than I would in certain other subjects at school that are still carrying on.
Absolutely.
And I think that actually meditation or mindfulness is so powerful. And I think that if it becomes this other thing that sort of other people do, then it doesn't seem very attractive. Whereas if we can normalise it with children. See, I do meditate. I don't necessarily do it every single day, but I would probably say I do it 4 or 5 times a week. And I do it at home, obviously with the kids running around, but I'll say to them, I'm meditating, I need 10 minutes. I just need quiet.
Well, I always hear that with kids going,
for 10 minutes.
God, she's meditating. Because it means I can't get them a sandwich. Right?
Well, they also
but you're hoping it goes in by osmosis,
exactly. And I mean, I have tried with them and it didn't necessarily work, but I just think, OK, you're not ready for it just yet. But if you can normalise it so that they know, and they know that I have anxiety and they know that I suffer with stress and everything else. But if I can show them that I'm taking my own practical steps to cope with it, hopefully when they're having their moments of whether it's stress through something at school or something that's happening with friendship groups, they know that there are tools
It's a good point they're seeing that, because what a lot of kids see is somebody come and go, oh, I've had such a stressful day, pop open a bottle of wine and pour a glass of wine.
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean, most of my life, that's how I dealt with stress.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do that as well. It's all about balance.
But you know, I'm nearly 80 days now without a drink, nearly 80 days. And it is incredible how you do need something else if you're not using drink to de-stress.
Look, I think, look, it's good. Whatever gets you through the night and whatever works for you, I think is really great. But I just think I'm not fitting in with this. I don't understand it. I've tried to meditate. I probably don't need to meditate. I medicate. You know, I don't get it. I really don't
you
get
medicate.
it. No, but you don't. I just
No, but it
can't
isn't
imagine
for
kids sitting
everyone.
there giving it that. I mean, they're too young. you're right. They do it naturally anyway. They just zone out and they're like, oh, we're over there.
But why do we
That's the
lose
same
that, though, as
thing.
Because we
adults?
tell them not to. You see a child doing this,
We don't
and
lose
it's natural
it.
medicine.
We
go,
do lose it.
What are you doing? Why are you just staring
Well, because
into space?
you're the one who's going around going, oh, we've got to be busy all the time, we've got to be doing this, we've got to be doing that, and you don't. The kids don't get bored anymore because you keep giving them computer games and things like that.
Right, we'll leave
You need to learn to be bored, and then they'll
Or
meditate.
just have a glass of wine, okay?
No, that's too young.
But if the rate is not really a very good idea.